The AFL media has spot fires everywhere. Clashes between high-profile names are occurring nearly weekly, and we even got to see a face-to-face meeting between a senior coach and one of his arch media enemies. The AFL media wars are going nuclear, and they don't look like finishing up anytime soon. We have to start with none other than Kane Cornes. He was the subject of a bizarre rant by Tommy Sheridan. If you don't know who Sheridan is, he played 83 AFL games between 2012 and 2020 for Fremantle and GWS. Right now, he features heavily on the Ausmerican Aces YouTube channel, which is the home of numerous podcasts with AFL players and other athletes, both current and former. So in one of his episodes midweek, he decided to launch on the volcano.
On Kane Cornes, because he was a hack back in the day, boys. Yeah, he was a dirty tagger, and the train played in his second year, and I kicked two on him. I said, where's your defensive transition there, big boy? I'll show you the clip. Go back to round 22, 2013. The T-train just rolled in, mate, little skinny bloke from Riddles Creek, and said, Kano, get goal side, or you'll just see what happens. And look at the scoreboard. I think we won by about 80. So
what happened? Did he chase you? Or?
No, he didn't chase me. He just got sucked into the contest.
Oh, no.
Terrible clip, to be honest. So we should get it up, because it's horrific defence. And I've had enough. I've been sitting on it, but maybe he should just go back and have a look at his own highlights, because he's a dirty, stinking tagger, and I don't think anyone would remember him if he wasn't in the media. I'm sick of him potting Tim Taranto.
What annoys you the most?
How do you even rate a player in the 150th? They've all got different positions, so it's just stupid. Getting goal side of the corn, he was slow, he was a dirty tagger, and he was just a horrific footballer to watch. And Harley Reid will be 5 times better than him, and I've had enough of his comments.
Well, that was heated. Obviously, Sheridan wasn't happy with Cornes' focus on Tim Taranto and Harley Reid of late, and let him know about it. On the Friday during round 3 on SEN, Cornes fired back with some support from his co-host David King.
Oh, strong. So I just thought it was worthy of a response.
I thought so.
And I was just thinking to myself, when do you know life after football isn't going that well for you? Is it when you sort of put the person's name into Google and the first thing that comes up is drop mark in a final? And just for those that missed it, here's how that went down, and Bruce McAvaney.
Sadly for Sheridan, the clip Cornes is referring to is this one. It was in the 2015 preliminary final at a crucial time in the game, and it was a shocking moment from Sheridan, who dropped an easy mark and led to a Rioli goal. Cornes did not hold back.
Sheridan. Oh, Sheridan! What does Steve Hoare say to the South Africans?
Exactly right. Dropped the World Cup to Herschel Gibbs. Well, Tommy Sheridan there. Just one of those moments he will relive over and over in his mind.
You bet you he will. Prelim final, a dropped mark that you can't drop. So look, I'm happy to be criticised by the likes of Dane Swan. And like if Gary Ablett Jr. wanted to have a say on my career, or Sammy Mitchell wanted to have his thoughts, or Simon Black, I'm probably not going to cop it from an 83-game park footballer. I'm probably not. Whose one career highlight was dropping an absolute soda in a prelim final, which cost your team the game. I'm probably not.
Cornes further went on to make fun of Sheridan's podcast ranking on the podcast charts, his 12-month stint on Channel 7 before his show got canned, and he continually referred to him as a park footballer. Cornes has had a lot of feuds in the past few years, but I think it's fair to say this has been the most heated one, at least so far. The most recent media appearance of note was Luke Beveridge. He has been on a little bit of a tour of late. Even after the Bulldogs win over Carlton, he actually did an interview with Jared Waitley post-game in the rooms, before his scheduled post-game press conference. Beveridge has been ultra relaxed in all his media appearances compared to the past couple seasons. Now, winning games always helps this, but it has been a noticeable shift. For the first time in many, many years, he appeared on Footy Classified in late March. He didn't go on the Monday show with Sam McClure, Matthew Lloyd, Rory Sloane and Damien Barrett, but the Tuesday edition of the show, fittingly the one with Tom Morris. We all know the event's post-game of round 1 2022, where Bevo went off on Morris, who during the week revealed Lachie Hunter would not be selected to play against Melbourne. The events led to Beveridge apologising, Morris getting sacked from Fox Footy after leaked videos of him using sexist and racial insults, and a media frenzy over that following week. But time heals all wounds, at least sometimes. Morris is now the chief football reporter at 9, and Beveridge is coaching the Bulldogs for an 11th season. But to the show, after long discussion around Jamara Ugle-Hagan and other issues, Eddie Maguire finally brought up the elephant in the room. Well, it was as anticlimactic as it could get, and I'm sure the network producers were disappointed about Beveridge's dismissive attitude about the previous events and his want to move on to more important points of interest. Morris, on the other hand, kinda acted weird.
I've seen that a number of times the past 3 years. My reaction to that is very clear, and that is that Luke apologised the next day, and any angst that may have been felt between Luke and myself over the last 3 years hasn't been from my end. You mentioned it before already. There's been a lot of journalists that have copped it from coaches over the years. So I accepted that apology the next day, and I'm very keen to move on from that because I think there's a lot of other footy stories to talk about. I don't know how Luke feels, but there's no angst from me to Luke, put it that way. And there wasn't at the time either, to be fair.
I definitely didn't come on the show tonight to discuss that. I at the time, I apologised quite broadly, actually, and it was a difficult time, because there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There was a lot of things going on. And obviously, with some history in regards to Tom, but I don't want to back over it. We've moved on from it, and so I think you live and learn. Tonight's not about that detail.
No.
It's important that it's the first time I've been on Channel 9. Probably. Since a couple of antagonists have moved over to Channel 7, to be honest. Yeah. And so I've come here tonight to definitely interact and hopefully provide something of value. But the detail in what happened, that doesn't help me. It doesn't help our footy club. I don't think it really helps you, Tom, and I just don't think we should.
So that was it. Clearly Beveridge hasn't fully moved on from the night, but he also seemed to not care much about Morris and his want for a more open discussion. But Beveridge left with one golden nugget that not many people talked about.
It's the opportunity to have a full and frank discussion on matters. And that doesn't mean that if you want to blow up, you can come back. You can return serve. Yeah. And anyway,
but you mightn't have the choice to come back when your club sacks you, though.
Exactly, there's always that.
It is true. A lot of media people get things wrong or even report stories incorrectly. They can always make a comeback. Morris might be the poster boy of that. However, we know with the senior coaches, most of the time, they don't get that luxury.